Why did I do that?
That's
Like, I've
that's
been,
understandable, yeah.
yeah, I've been trying to watch, like, different pros and streamers
Right.
for the last few weeks, figuring out where to be,
Okay.
but then it comes to, like, these maps where I don't see Widow be played as much. I'm like, okay, I don't know where to be.
I understand that, yeah. There's still some fundamentals we can apply. It doesn't matter like what map you play. We can talk about a few things probably. We'll see what we need to focus on. But is there anything what you look to practice in specific? Is there anything what you look to kind of apply for the most part recently?
Recently, um, yes, it's been a while for me. I think it really was just like, how do I explain, like, the not being in the same spot all the time and kind of
Repositioning.
rotating. Yeah, like repositioning. Um, I think I forgot to put the Venom line down, but I'm trying to do that more often.
When I'm mindful
uh,
for angles, sure. Anything else?
yeah, yeah. Um, I think I think that's it for now that I've been like trying to do mostly because I think my aim is all right because I've been doing the tryhard free for all. Um, and the Vaxta every time
Yeah,
still. So um I think there are just times where I just get dived really badly and I would be like cause oh yeah, and it's the cooldown management. I've been trying to be better about that. Like, if Winston I can see that Winston wants to dive on me, I won't use my grapple hook.
yeah.
Like I'll use it after he's gotten to me because he used it. He used his jump already, and I would, instead of aiming at him, I would try and shoot squishy heroes.
I get it. Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So I think those were the things that I've been trying last week. Um, yeah.
Okay. Is there anything you think you struggle with the most besides just what you mentioned when you playing against the dive? Maybe it was difficult a little bit. Is there anything else?
Yeah. No, I think from what I've seen, that's like really my difficulty. Um, I've been doing all right with Widow 1v1s, I noticed, so that's fun.
Nice.
But
Hmm.
yeah, I think I started doing the whole like angle change and not peeking too much. I'm like, oh wow. I mean,
Exactly. Not double peeking
yeah,
from the same spot, yeah. Mm-hmm.
yeah. Um, but I think like I went on a what is it? I
Was
think there's just
mhm.
like a lot of like dive on me, and the chat would tell me to like change characters,
Right.
but I'm like, I think I'm doing okay, but at the same time, I'm like, am I though? Or am I feeding? I don't know.
I think the first part is always thinking how do you adjust your play style, to be honest. It's always the most beneficial, and
Yeah.
in reality you can one trick the character even though you play against the worst composition. It's still more about how do you apply all these concepts. If you do those in a good way, usually you can get decent
Mm.
value. Of course you might go some other character, but it shouldn't be dependent on the enemy comp as the first priority. It's more the priority is looking at your own composition and the map first. So we're kind of thinking about your own strengths
Mm.
first instead of paying attention to what the enemy is throwing at. That is not a story. We just want to basically look at
Yeah.
our own resources first and then look at the enemy as the second part. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because yeah, I'd have games where we're on, I think it was Junkertown. This is like a different game, I think. I think even it was in quick play. I don't know. I just remember that, and like we just lose immediately, and they tell me like, oh, if we didn't have Widow, we'd win. I'm like, okay.
Well, well, that
I'm
happens.
like, I'm like, okay.
Do you have this example where you play against the dive as well?
I can look. I don't know how long ago that was. I think, I mean, I think even is it like the Midtown one that I showed you? Or it was like Winston, Tracer. Yeah, it was like Tracer. I think that was like the Midtown one. Yeah, let's see. Like,
Sure, because if it's the biggest issue at the moment, the most securing issue at least, we might go over how to play against the dive first if you want. If you have anything else, what we want to look at, anything else you can want to discuss, then let's look at another replay. So what do you think? You want to look at the
yeah,
dive one or?
yeah, we can look at the dive one. I'm trying to find. I had one here.
I think you
This one.
sent me something when I was sending you the timestamps. I think there was a Midtown replay
Yeah, I think
one
that.
week ago. Yeah, that was the
Yeah,
one. Mm-hmm.
I'll share that one because I think that one, yeah, had like the Winston, Genji, Tracer. But yeah, like the dive ones, I just feel like a pinata, to be
Yeah,
very honest.
yeah, I understand. We can go with that. Well, and those two last codes. Yeah,
Yeah,
those
the
two other
first
codes.
one,
Which yeah, why do we want to go with those? If you wanna, yeah.
yeah, the first one is the flashpoint where I was doing all right at the start.
Okay.
But then it just fell apart afterwards. I think this one is. I think I was just too close, and the Anna always killed. Not Anna. Moira. Moira always killed me. I'm like, okay,
I get it.
like,
Okay.
like where she come from every time. So
Hmm.
like, I think I was just, I don't know. That one was struggle, and then
Okay.
the last one is the Eichenwald one. We did lose that one, even though I thought I was doing all right, but I think I could have done better.
Hmm.
I know I die quite often. I'm like, I think I'm feeding.
Okay. 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 So let's just start with the dive one. Let's review the dive one. You
Okay.
fine with that? Yeah.
Yeah, because I think that's my biggest struggle. So I think right now I'm in low plat, high gold, and I notice like people will switch if I'm doing really well. I notice they'll switch to like Winston or Tracer, Genji, like all those characters that, and they just all jump at me at the same time. So
Right. I get
I'm
it.
like, I don't know what to do.
I get it. I get it. Well, let's go with that then. And I see that you mentioned something before in the chat. There was something that you mentioned you getting overwhelmed by what everyone is saying, and then you get lost. So,
Yeah.
is that something you want to discuss too, or leaving the voice chat was enough? Kind of, you already kind of fine with all of
Um,
that, or we still want to go with that topic?
I think it'd be nice to know about because there would be times when I would play with friends too, and they'll say like a million things, and I'm like, and then I notice like I just don't play as well
Hmm.
anymore, and I don't know why. But
Hmm.
I don't join voice chat in comp,
Hmm.
um,
Hmm.
just because I don't know, I think it's scary. uh, and like I just don't in general, but a lot of people have been telling me, "Oh, you should join, the comms so that you can win games." I'm like that.
Not
I
the
tried
priority.
one,
Not the priority.
yeah.
Hmm.
So I tried once, and it was just chaos. Like people saying so many different things, and I'm just here like, what am I supposed to listen to? And is this even a thing I should be doing? Because I had friends telling me like you're not gonna get good if you don't go in voice chat. I'm like, but I don't want to go in voice chat.
No, 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 no. Of course not. That's me. The majority of my students they're getting good because they're not in the voice chat.
Okay, yeah, because like I don't go to it at all, and I'm just like I've asked people and they do it because they want to they want to do comms, right? But then they'll do the comms, and I'm like, what are you guys talking about?
Yeah, yeah. It's just kind of usually the most common thing about the communication, just trying to communicate and such. Well, it's not bad, obviously. Communication is fine. However, it's pretty common for people to try to communicate and forget to do their own stuff, forget about their performance or perform not as good. For example, I had bunch
Mm,
of students where they would just, when they try to communicate, they would just stand still and not take the proper position or not use their ability, for example. So if you notice, yeah, this is like a extreme example where they don't do anything, but if you notice the voice chat is ever influencing your performance, that is where you have much bigger chances of losing the match because your performance is low,
mm,
rather than, so it's let's say the difference, yeah, if you communicate with your team, it's not gonna it's not gonna get you more value than your performance, if that makes sense. So let's put it this way:
mm,
99% of the value, or like, okay, let's imagine you have this pure concept of value, and you might have 100% of the value. 99% of the value comes out of your performance, and only around 1-2% comes out of the communication. So you might get some
mm,
value from communication, but for a lot of people it might do some harm. And then you see actually people start communicating when mm, they actually good at their performance. They can do this 99% comfortably, and that's mostly common with top of 100 players. That's why you see streamers, they communicate a lot, but it's not
yeah.
they win because they communicate, it's they can also communicate while performing really well. So
Um,
why not to just get this extra percent of the value and yeah, get this 1%? It's valuable for them, sure. That their top 1%, they're playing at really high ranks right now, so they can do that. But even top of 100 streamers, they are not there are a bunch of players who don't even say anything, and they still can reach rank 1. They still can
mm,
reach top 10. It's possible. So the communication is not the biggest thing which allows to win games. Even when I was playing, I was not communicating at all on one of my accounts, just
mhm,
playing, and still been able to reach top, I think it was top 100 or something. I was playing just Ryan only, and that's all I did on that account. It
oh,
was just quite for fun, yeah. And then I had the DPS one, but
mhm.
playing Tracer for the most part. But anyway, it's just
Okay, so it's
most.
kind of like
Mhm.
it's kind of just like second nature to them playing at like that top level that they could do that. Is kind
Yeah,
of what you're saying. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly, exactly. That's why I would not put your main focus towards the communication. I would put it towards the performance.
Hmm.
If you notice you can communicate and perform well, sure. However, it's in most cases it's not the case. In most with most players, it's not the case. They cannot perform well and communicate at the same time because
It's
th- their working memory, like your working memory, is busy. Should be busy with something. If you're trying to get
mhm,
better, for example, it might be you thinking how to use Vanamine or how to improve at taking certain angle. That is what your working memory will be busy with when you're trying to reach maybe like masters or maybe uh, diamond. Doesn't matter. But then if you put something else in the working memory like communication, it becomes really tough. Like as we as humans, it's really difficult to actually
yeah.
process a lot of things. So you really
It's like
wanna.
multitasking.
Yeah, to know
And
about multitasking as well. It's like one of these uh, interesting
yeah,
things. I'm not entirely sure I'm one of these, I guess,
I
people
guess
who.
I just
Mhm.
can't because my attention would just like divert somewhere else
Yeah,
when somebody like talks, and I'll be like, wait, what was I doing again? And
yeah,
then I just okay, I'm just not gonna be voice chat that out.
yeah, exactly, exactly. There are some tools though. If you're playing with the friends, let's say you still have to deal with something, what they say in
Mhm.
voice. We can go with that a little bit. Just break down it a little bit more if you like. Do you want to go with that? Just.
Yeah, there would be times when I play with friends and
Hmm.
they'll just be like screaming in my ear,
Yeah.
and I don't know if that's, but I don't really say anything. I just like play. Um, Sometimes I'll say like someone's low on my end and
Hmm.
sing it, but that's like the extent of what I do.
Hmm.
But then I don't know if like do I ignore it?
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, what you can do in this situation. How do you think it affects you usually
Um,
when they say this kind of mean
Usually it
stuff?
would be like um trying to figure out how to explain it. It's just like really overwhelming. Like there's just too much information
Yeah.
going on. Like they'll say something, but it's not on my like screen. And then I would like have to turn to like see what's happening on their end. And it's like, am I supposed to do something? I don't know. I don't know if that makes sense. Like there would be times where I'm just like not, nearby or anything. I mean, I'm playing Widow, so or Tracer, and half the time I'm just like nowhere near.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, I don't know. It's just like just a lot of screaming in my ear.
Uh,
I think of
uh,
like,
okay. Did we go with the tool which is called Salt Model with you?
what is that softball?
Uh, Salt Model.
No,
Probably
nope.
not. Yeah, probably not. So
I don't know what
just
that
break
is.
down all of this, and it might be useful maybe just in the future. I usually use this with my students because it's a pretty nice tool. I can just share it with you.
Oh,
So, what you describe in there, yeah, we can just put it in. Yeah, let me just use this. Yeah, so I'm just gonna write down the fact. The fact is, what you was describing there, like, give me an exact thing which was happening. Maybe there was a friend telling you something. Maybe they uh, told you something like not nice. Like, what was the fact, exact fact you've been facing?
oh, like, sorry, I'm not sure I understand exact fact. Like,
Well, let's put it this way.
mhm,
Yeah, I have to explain it. So, I'm just gonna maybe finish this. So, whenever we doing something, whenever you in a game or just in a real life, there's a certain event is happening. Um,
mhm.
Usually, like let's say I'm playing Widowmaker and someone tells me, "Oh, can you switch?" Or
Oh yeah,
you're not
that's the
doing
one I get a
well.
lot.
Yeah, you're not doing well. Can you do this? This is the fact. This is what they say. This is what you cannot change.
Uh,
Basically, I just had to explain it. Yeah. So
yeah.
this event, this type of events, when they do something or they say something, we call it the fact because you can change it. Now, after this fact which you faced, you get
Mhm.
certain thought, and then you get certain feeling about the situation, and then you do actions after that, and you kind of after you done certain actions
Uh,
you get to certain result. So we can break down what you just described there and do this kind of exercise. So
yeah.
yeah, 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 if you facing the fact, so the fact is, what was that exactly, what's been affecting you a lot? Would it make a
Yeah.
switch, or yeah, what
Yeah, I
what was
think it is that. Like even in the chat, just alone, like they'd be like Widow Switch.
widow
Um
switch? Right.
Swap. You're not doing good. You sucked.
Yeah, not
Like those.
not doing good. Exactly. Yeah. So this is the fact you can't change what these people say. Exactly. Yeah? So we're
Yeah.
facing it. The facts. It can be anything else. It might be also um facing those events where maybe somebody's outperforming, maybe you facing that you're paying attention to stats and you don't like the stats, you just see the stat, oh, you have 4k damage, this is the fact, you just have 4k damage, but it doesn't matter, all the facts you're facing, you
Oh,
cannot
okay.
change
Yeah.
now.
Hmm.
uh, what's important is what do we think in this moment. So if somebody tells you Widow Switch, you're not doing good, what's your thought right away?
I think like honestly, I'd be like, there'd be times where I'm like, I am doing my job though. I'm getting picks. I'm not dying as much. There'd be moments like that. Um, I think, and then there'd be times where I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing as well. Like, there's like a bit of
Hmm.
doubt. So it's kind of like in the in bet. I guess it's like contextual,
Yeah,
you know?
depends. Yeah, depends.
Yeah.
Depends.
So
I guess we wanna deal with the thoughts which where you get a certain worry, like uncomfortable feeling, kind of, you know.
yeah, like
So, mm-hmm,
I do get uncomfortable about it.
mm-hmm.
Like I try to reason it with myself, saying like, oh, maybe they're having a bad day. You know, maybe they're on a lose streak, right? And they just want to win, or
This is
because
helpful, sure. Yeah, we.
I don't know. I feel like a scapegoat sometimes because I've
Mm-hmm.
been playing this character for a while. But anytime the team is losing, I'm immediately the one that's blamed.
Yeah.
Um, and I try not to take it to heart because you know it might be on them, but it does make me
Mm-hmm,
feel
mm-hmm,
like bad. I'm not explaining it in a better
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
word because it's like, oh, I didn't do like my job maybe in the game, but sometimes I can't tell. So
Yeah. So
yeah,
sometimes it's kind of we're thinking, oh, they have a bad day. Maybe they. Sometimes we're thinking, well, I'm doing good actually. I'm performing well. Hmm.
hmm. So
What do you think? Maybe if we try to find this kind of simple thought which we can put in one sentence, but where you feel uncomfortable. Maybe there are majority of situations, like it's pretty common with the players, where somebody tells them something like Widow Switch, you're not doing good, and then you're thinking, oh, like, why are you saying that? Kind of, you starting to have those more defensive thoughts, and you start having something, oh,
yeah,
like, it's
okay.
not. Maybe it's that the case with you, or there's something else. Yeah, what do you think? What is the kind of most common uncomfortable thought?
The most common one I think would be like self doubt. Like
Hmm,
yeah, I'm not doing as great.
not doing as great,
Um,
yeah, for example. So see, this is something you can want to work with. Kind
yeah.
of, you have it here, okay, and then once you identify it, so what's uncomfortable, what kind of thought it is, you want to identify what kind of feeling you get after that. So what is that exactly?
Uh, I think I start to get anxious, you know, like
Yeah,
performance anxiety, you
yeah,
know? It's just like, oh
yeah,
no, now they're like it's kind of on me now. If I'm not, you know, I don't know, they're expecting maybe the hard carry.
yeah, exactly. This is the common
And then,
thing. This is normal. Yeah, if you
yeah,
have
and
this
then
kind
I
of thoughts,
would,
exactly. Yeah.
yeah, and then I would just like, suddenly my performance is gone. Like I just don't play as well, I noticed. And then they would just continue to say stuff, you know,
Mm-hmm,
whether it's in the chat or the voice chat. I'm like, oh, I'm just playing a video game.
mm-hmm. Sorry. So
No problem.
it's affecting your actions in a way. Yeah, like you being anxious because
Mm.
you have this feeling now. The performance we kind of play not as good. Maybe can you specify what is not becoming good with the actions, like how it affects the actions?
I think I just stopped thinking about what it is I'm doing in the game, and now my attention is like towards this person, um, kind of being mean in chat towards me. And I
Mm.
think there was an instance where it was just constant. It was just really bad. I don't even want to like retell it. I
Yeah,
even
I get
changed
it.
my chat filter to like friendly. I'm like, please.
Yeah, yeah, I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
So it's
So I
this.
think,
Yeah. Mhm.
yeah, I think like, yeah, my attention goes towards it. And here I'm like, oh, it's just another person on the other side of the computer having a bad day. But
Yeah.
then
Mm.
it still affects me throughout the entire game.
Right.
And
Right.
I notice I do significantly worse
Mm-hmm.
than
Mm-hmm.
if I had a game where no one has said anything. Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. This is common. This is common. Can also
Okay.
relate to that, and
Yeah.
you wanna notice so the actions you might identify that can be anything. Maybe the attention goes towards the other person. Maybe you notice how your aim not as good. Maybe you notice that you
Mm-hmm.
sit in a certain uncomfortable way as well because you become anxious. Yeah, all the actions, even though they are not game related, like can be live related, they also affect the result. Like eventually, mm,
Yeah.
eventually, because you want to get certain result, those kind of actions they might be mm, not helpful. So our result, well, what it can be anything you want to achieve. Maybe usually it's something what gives you always positive outcome. Like let's say you're practicing getting better as the widow, just practicing taking angles, or practicing taking those I don't know, good power positions, or you
Mm-hmm.
trying to prioritize certain target. Yeah, we want to identify what our result want to be, but see, like once you've done this exercise you kind of see, oh, okay, how it's affecting, like what my goal was. Yeah, maybe I'm not taking angles that well, or maybe I'm not prioritizing target that well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like the final thing, yeah, the final stage. Yeah, because a lot of people they might say, oh, like result is I just lose the game, but you can specify and see specifics. Yeah, um
Okay,
what
so
is that
like,
about? Mm-hmm.
so throughout all of these, what happened specifically? Um, I think I just stopped thinking. Like, I don't think about,
Mm-hmm.
what it is that I want to work on. Suddenly it's all on, what this person has said. Um,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and then yeah, I think I just stopped. I think yeah, my aim becomes terrible. Um, because yeah, I do notice I do get shaky about it, and it's like,
Yeah.
okay, I can't play this character right now, because someone has said that. So my aim becomes shaky. I don't take proper angles that normally in my head I'd
Mm-hmm.
do, or like switch up. Um, yeah, I think I just forget how to play the character.
Yeah. So that's why I want to kind of work with all of that, and do this kind of backwards thinking about the situation, backwards work, thinking about what kind of result you want to get eventually. So it depends really on your
Mm-hmm.
goals and such. Yeah. And then kind of go backwards and think what kind of actions can support then result, and then what kind of feeling can support that, and then what kind of thought can support all of that as well. Kind of see, we went from doing this,
Uh,
so this is like exercise number one. You
yeah.
exactly reflect on your thoughts, you're thinking about everything, and then after that you're trying to replace it with more effective model. Obviously it's not just one time thing, you have to do it kind of constantly, because you're writing down the thoughts, your thinking changes depending about certain situation, depending on mm, how
Mm-hmm.
how it affects you, like if it's really Mm. If it's really you getting anxious a lot, maybe it's affecting you a lot. Might take some time. Maybe you do this exercise every week or every just every day even. It can help just change the mindset a little bit. But we can kind of think about
Okay.
if we
Yeah.
let's think about what kind of result we want to get. So just
Mm.
eventually,
I think
let's try to do this exercise now.
this result, uh, like just being able to still perform even though somebody has like said something like that. I would
Mm,
think.
just
I'm not
just
sure.
just think about your desirable result in the match exactly, like what
Oh,
that can
in the
be.
match.
Yeah,
Okay. Um.
just about that situation. Yeah, we're still in that situation where somebody
Yeah.
tells you, "Well, the switch not doing good." Yeah, what's the desirable result would be in that
Oh,
situation?
okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like I still just want to keep practicing. Playing the character.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh, like positioning. I
yeah.
think it's like the big one for me. Like, I know my aim gets better while I'm playing like try hard or back stuff. So and then like what is it? Using my cooldowns properly because that's also something that
Mm-hmm.
I'm still practicing a whole lot, especially with the grapple hook because I notice
Mm-hmm.
I like to use it
Yeah,
for
exactly.
fun.
Yeah, exactly. So this can be the good result, desirable result. It can change, obviously, depending on your goal setting. Maybe you have the other goal, like you just want to have fun, or
Hmm.
maybe you want to work on Venomine. Well, this can be good, desirable result.
Hmm.
N- what is important after that? Once you know that this is a important result for you. You want to get better at positioning. Now you want to specify the actions. You want to specify and think, okay, what kind of actions can support all of this? You're getting better at positioning. What you can be doing here, and this is where you can, when you think about the list, our list we have, it's you taking corners, maybe you taking that angle, or doing this, I don't know. Not double peeking thing, yeah. So you can kind of
Hmm.
specify, yeah, think about it. And this is about in-game events, but it can also be about some what you can do in real life too. You might do some actions as well. Maybe you do some breathing exercises. Maybe you sit in a
Yeah.
more comfortable way. Maybe you just, yeah, I don't know. You can think about something. Yeah,
Okay. I
yeah.
mean, I do meditation, so maybe the breathing thing might be good if
Hmm.
somebody's being like that.
Breathing
Uh,
exercises.
I
Yeah.
didn't think about that, but um, yeah, I could do that. I was just gonna be like, I don't think ignoring them
This
will
is
work because that was a tough one.
this is not
Yeah.
exactly action. Well, you can think like, okay, let me just put it this way.
Yeah.
I tell you, do not think about the white monkey.
Okay.
What do you start doing?
Think about the white monkey. I'm just adult. I'm like, oh, now I'm thinking about the white monkey.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, never
Okay.
mind.
Okay. So see
I
what I'm trying to get at.
if you try to ignore them, you're gonna think about them anyway.
Yeah, you can't ignore
Okay.
them. Yeah, exactly. It's all about how you process that, I guess. uh,
Yeah.
mm,
I
mm-hmm.
guess yeah. I could do the breathing exercises
You might,
because
yeah, you might.
yeah.
And see, this is where you can really do some experimentation. That's why this exercise is good. You do it by yourself, you figure out all this
Okay.
stuff, what can be helpful for you. It's not me just telling you all of this stuff, like what you can be doing. Yeah, I suggest, obviously, but you might,
Okay. This is. I think I'm getting it.
yeah, you
Yeah.
might do all of this exercise by yourself and just kind of figure this out, yeah, like what kind of actions can help, and then yeah, we want to get to this part as well, like the feeling, if you want to do
Mhm.
these actions like we described, maybe breathing exercises I just mentioned, play corners. I don't know, like I can be more specific. Let's say reach cover in 0.5 seconds. Yeah, that's my favorite rule. Making sure you can do that. Say
Okay,
about
yeah.
in-game events, maybe it can be something else, but obviously something. Once you, if
Okay,
you want to
yeah.
apply all these actions correctly, we're trying to replace this feeling with something what's can be helpful. What kind of feeling can be helpful?
Mm, would be feeling of helpful.
Yeah,
Um,
it's sort of anxious. Yeah, what that can be.
I think just having fun. I mean, it is a game.
Yeah,
I just
well,
want to have fun. Yeah.
this is not. What is the feeling? Because having fun, everyone gets has certain feeling. I think.
I
Hmm.
think just being calm.
Yeah,
That help.
calm. Yeah, I think this is fine. Yeah, staying
Yeah.
calm. Maybe you can think about something else as well. Whatever helps you. To be honest, if staying calm helps, sure, this is a good
Yeah.
one. And if you want to stay calm, what kind of thoughts can be helpful? See, like not doing is great, yeah. Like those kind of thought, maybe it's not as helpful. What could be helpful? What kind of thought could be useful if you want to stay more calm?
Oh, well, I'm practicing. Like I'm playing and progressing every time. The more I
Mm-hmm.
practice, even if I lose,
Mm-hmm.
um, even if we're not doing well and such,
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
have I've progressed because I've learned from it. So I feel like that is a better thought.
Yeah. For
Um,
example, yeah. So see, this is more like positive as well, and quite nice if you have this more. Mm, let's put
mm,
it like always constructive thought, like even though you lose at the teammates, they tell you something, it doesn't matter, or maybe you have this lever, you have the cheater you play against, you still can be progressing, right? So this is a good thought, I think, pretty powerful, yeah. And
mm,
see, the point of this exercise, you just kind of work with your thoughts, and you
mm,
might do it even before each game session, so it just helps you, and you kind of subconsciously later your mind will actually be thinking differently about those situations, and you will notice like you'll feel better. It's gonna take some time, obviously.
oh,
It's
okay,
like,
yeah.
in psychology, when what's that called? I don't know how it's called in English, but when there's a therapy, you have to write in your notebook, like special diary or something. This is kind
Oh,
of the
like
similar.
journaling?
Yeah, like journaling, but this is obviously
Mm,
the therapy is different, but this is
mm,
just kind of similar in terms of that, because you're writing down your thoughts, you actually put it on the paper, you can kind of create the distance between you and the thoughts, and then you place it somewhere, and you can work with that. You can actually kind of be replacing it with something else, what can be helpful, because
mm,
one person, yeah, the fact that they facing, Widow Switch not doing good, they might just laugh and have fun because they know, like this person, like I mentioned, they have a good bad day or something. I'm actually a good player and such, and they feel okay, calm, and they perform good. The other player, they might feel that, like they start thinking maybe not doing as great, and they feel anxious sometimes. Yeah, this is okay. Just trying to replace this with more constructive thought, which can be helpful.
okay.
Mm.
Oh, that's interesting. You can use that for a lot of things, not just this.
Yeah, yeah. I learned this some time ago. I guess it's just useful, like
Um,
with most of the students in general. You
mm,
If you're working with that properly, I think you do it before each game session can be quite nice. Maybe if you're gonna
mm,
have any questions about that, you can also message me. But overall, yeah, this is
okay.
just
I'm gonna
something
try that out. Yeah.
you can work with. So again, the fact you can change. You facing the fact, they tell you something, you're facing something, yeah, then you get certain thought, then we get certain feeling, then we get an action, we do certain action, and then you you get the certain result, yeah. Our
Mm-hmm.
idea is to identify how the thoughts are really affecting your result. So you're trying to just reflect on is the what is exactly you thinking, feel after, and then kind of do this exercise backwards. Yeah, think about the desired result, actions,
Mm-hmm.
what can be helpful, feelings, thoughts, and this is where you can be more constructive, like we already discovered. Yeah, breathing exercises. For example, for a lot of the students, I just suggest you take 3 deep breaths, and
Yeah.
you feel much better, because when you feel anxious, what's happening? Your muscles, your even heart rate is increased.
Mm-hmm.
You can decrease the heart rate because you start breathing slowly. It's kind of mm, you're not even thinking, you just kind of do this things with your body in a way, and then
Mm-hmm.
it's you feel better. Yeah, like this works. Yeah, all this stuff, it's really helpful, and you can do it quickly before uh, even between the fights, even between the duels, it's
Yeah.
possible. So I think it's quite useful.
Okay.
Okay, okay, so we can use this.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any questions about that again?
Mm,
Uh,
no, I think this is great, honestly. I'm like, I never knew about this, so
yeah, I'm glad to
mm,
share all of this.
I'm like, what is this?
Uh,
This is psychology.
this is more like coaching tool, but psychology, it's more about, while you can use it as a psychology tool, just psychology, I think it's more attention is more towards the past, where the coaching is more, the attention is more towards the
Mm,
future. So we kind of
yeah,
can work with
yeah,
your thoughts. I guess it's the past, but then a lot of it is just how you're gonna perform in the future later. So
yeah.
this is.
I think
Mhm.
that's like the common comment I see a lot with me and any anyone else, like any other character, it's like nothing. It's just like with them, I'm like, wow. So I think this is really helpful though. Definitely try it out.
Nice, good. And there's been one of once sorry, you mentioned, and it's quite important actually. The one thing you mentioned, people
Hmm.
have a bad day or something. They, mm, the
Mm,
fundamental thing about it is just whenever something's happening, it's not that you bad or something. It's that people, they want something, they need something. Yeah, so it's kind of
hmm.
the event happened. Yeah, maybe like you mentioned, they need in the real life, they need something like to do something, but they're anxious, and then they say all these feelings in the game. You don't know that, obviously. You only can
Yeah.
assume it's not a real
Hmm.
person, it's just a stranger. But kind of, once you become kind of more empathetic about it, in a way that you're not like trying to be responsible for their feelings, but you're just kind of thinking, oh, like what that might be, yeah, what they might need exactly. Yeah, like they tell me all of this, it's not because I'm bad, it's just they need something. It's their responsibility, their emotions.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we can think about it a little bit more. And once you see that the person's actually, they just have a certain need,
Hmm.
um we start taking things not as personally. I have an
Okay.
interesting book about it, actually, if you want to read it. I don't
Okay.
know. It's
Yeah.
just about all the communication. If you want, I can link it to you. This is a good one. I don't think it's like too much of a read as well. Might take like,
Okay.
as an audio version, I remember it took only 6 hours to listen overall, so it's not as much.
Oh, like a.
Audio is six
Mhm.
hours, but if you just read it, then it's much less, obviously, I think, depending on how fast you read.
I do like reading a lot, so.
Yeah. So it's called. Oh, let me find it. I just need the English version. Okay. Pretty sure it's called Nonviolent Communication. A language of compassion, but I just need to find it and link it to you, probably on Amazon or something. Yeah, I will do that just a little bit later. It's
Yeah, yeah, don't no rush.
it's
I mean,
from
that's really I really appreciate it.
no,
Cause
this one is really useful. once
Mhm.
you read it, really, there are a lot of things you might change about just um, when you communicate with people, like thinking about, oh, like all the stuff they say, you might think not exactly from this perspective of, oh, like they trying to harm me, and like at the same time you start communicating well with them is to, and it becomes more of a constructive communication instead of that communication where people blame each other, especially in
Yeah.
team environment. I think it's less
Yes. I see it
useful.
a lot.
Yeah, yeah, obviously. It's kind of, they tell you, like, it's pretty common. Maybe you play with the friends, they say, oh, like, you did this, that's why I lost. And then you're like, oh no, you did this. and
Yeah.
and people
I
start being defensive because they tell, like, that
yeah, I
person did.
especially like especially when like I would play with friends, but they would always like blame the other tank, like whoever. It's always someone else. And I'm like, I don't know. I just like sit there and I just play the game, but I would hear it constantly between my friends. They would like blame maybe the random on our team, like, oh, they're not doing well, and I'm just like, I don't know.
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
Yeah, yeah.
This is
So
common.
yeah, I try not to personally. I'm always honestly I feel like there's something better I could have done. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just me.
No,
If
this
I
is
try
good.
blaming
This is good
someone,
attitude. Yeah, I think this is good.
okay,
Yeah, of
because
course.
I feel like if I'm blaming it on someone, it's just like they're not
You,
responsible for me getting
yes,
better.
exactly. You giving responsibility to them. That is the most common thing people do. Yeah? They,
Yeah,
you make them responsible, when in reality there's a lot of responsibility which you have. You should recognize it and kind
yeah.
of look at it. Yes, they're also responsible, but when we
Mhm.
trying to blame as well, like a lot of people, they blame in a way, oh, like you did this, they start being defensive and it's not helpful in the situation, they start doing worse. They're not as good, become not as good. So there are some ways, if you like to communicate, actually it's okay, like um if if you need something, but like, for example, there's a pretty basic thing you can say exactly about what you need, like what you feel, kind of, like in a I don't know, relationship with friends. So just a normal relationship, you say, oh, not like, oh, you did this, that's why I feel like terrible. You can say, oh, I need something, like I feel not as good
Mhm.
when I see this certain event happening, or like when um I don't know, when I'm facing this situation. So you start paying attention to the situation and like what do you feel, what do you need, rather than say, oh, like this is you. Yeah. You give it, you see the difference. Yeah, we're giving responsibility to other
Yeah,
to
yeah.
other person, but we need to kind of think, yeah, like give responsibility to what we feel first, and then later we're thinking about this other what I want to say. Yeah, just paying attention to your feelings first. Responsibility. Um,
Yeah.
mhm,
All right. Well,
mhm. There's a
that's awesome.
bunch of stuff. Yeah. Do you have any questions so far, or?
No, that really covered a lot more than I was expecting, so I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
Definitely gonna try that with my next game.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it took some time for us, but it's good. I think we still have time to look at the replays with you. Let's do
Yeah.
that. Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna screenshot that and send it to you in a summary.
Mhm.
And then I need to not forget about the book. Okay, it should be fine. Well, let's look at the replay finally. Okay, here we go. Is this one? I have it saved, maybe. Oh, maybe it's not there anymore.
It's
Okay. Yeah, it's not there. It got overwritten.
okay.
Ready for battle.
Okay. So what was your thought process here? Is there anything you look to practice or?
I think I wanted to try and getting like a better position trying to get to like people because I used to go to the left side before,
Okay.
like the very left where there's like that window there.
Mm-hmm.
But I always had a hard time finding shots, so I thought about starting here, but at the same time, like if I should start here with everyone like seeing me.
So it was just tough for you to find the value with this left window. That's why I kind of didn't go there, or
I think I'm just trying something different
oh,
because I
just try.
normally
Mm-hmm.
go. Yeah, I normally go to that window right there,
Hmm.
but I wanted to try going up here. But then I
Mm-hmm.
realized this place sucks.
Yeah, we don't have as much vision.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the window is actually pretty decent. You have a lot of vision to. You have
Yeah.
a good lane control kind of. This way we can work with this, we can work with this. Now we have a little bit more limited vision towards an enemy. Yeah, we
Yeah.
want to maximize the options you have.
And there was like no one up there at that high ground on the left side, so there's
Yeah,
no point.
it's a good pick. Oh, okay,
Oh,
nice.
I wanted to help.
This is fine. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
isolated, so why not? It's going good so far. The only thing is probably the placement in the window could be in the window could be good.
Yeah.
This is alright. Nice.
And then there's the Winston.
Okay. And now it's gonna be a little bit harder for you. They have Winston and Genji. Yeah. So that's where the issue is gonna start probably, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember exactly what happened in this game. Yeah, I sent this one last week. But I do know this was the one with the Winston and
Yeah.
Genji and me being thrown around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so they're trying to just go after you, you reposition. I think
Mhm.
that's decent. What was the thought process behind this Venom mine as well?
I think if the Genji jumped in there, maybe we'll hit him. That was my thought
Oh,
process
okay.
whenever I see Genji, but he didn't go in there, so. Oh, well, Winston went in there.
Yeah, I think this is good. Against the dive, you might place the Venom mine on near the position where you are sometimes. It's okay. Unless you need
Mm.
to check important angles.
Hmm.
It's looking okay so far. I think that's where you had the question. So you
Yeah, right here.
was looking for some shots. This is fine.
Is it here? Oh, I think I. Oh, I remember I accidentally went in here. I didn't know Ash was in here.
Oh, all right. So it started around this spot, yeah. Yeah, you just noticed
Was it?
there's a Winston, the diving you, there's a Zap. Well, you
Yeah,
kind
I
of
think it
go.
was the second. Like after.
I just think like, what are your how do you reposition right after this? So okay, the diving you, it's quite
Hmm.
risky for you to stay there. What do you think? Should we just kind of
Mm,
go bottom, maybe do something else? What do you think?
yeah, I think maybe I should have just like dropped to my team because they would be able to support me better.
Yeah, so
Because
exactly what we did there, yeah?
yeah, and
Okay.
then I don't know why I went in this room and
Uh-huh.
this room when my teammates are right there. I could have like just stayed with them. I think
Mm.
because now the Genji and Ashe are isolated away from their team,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So it would have been beneficial if I just stayed with my team during this like weird dive that Genji's doing. And I don't know why Ash is in there.
Yeah, I think it's one of the things you play against the dive, you're trying to not isolate yourself as much. It's still valuable, of course. Keep the corners in mind, but if we're dropping and this way, yeah, and then we're trying to play closer to mm, not exactly with our team, but just in a way that your team can support you a little bit more. Yeah, even if we play
Yeah.
here and we minimizing the dealing with Ash, this is kind of nice for us when you play against the dive. There's the one thing, and the second one is just how you play the distance. Keep your distance and poke the divers. So this is what you did. They kind of can kite, yeah, go out a little bit more. And to be honest, if you have the option, if they dive you like this, you even
Mm-hmm.
can just go there, for example, keep your distance as soon as your team can
Um.
support you, just in case, because the Ana can turn around. Obviously, you have to ask for the support, but it's possible. It's just one of the things to keep in mind. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it can be do a lot of damage? Can we really just maybe shut down something while we're rotating? Yeah, if not, then sure, just go towards the team first, then later you can regain the position, retake the position. But just something to keep in mind, yeah? Not
Yeah.
isolating ourselves and also keeping in mind the distance factor. Two things.
Okay. Yeah,
Yep.
because if I'm like far away, they would still have to use a bunch of their cooldowns to get to
Yeah,
me because they already used theirs, and
exactly.
I still had my grapple hook, so I
Yeah.
could have just. Uh.
Yeah. I mean, it's this is just that it's possible to drop like you did there, but definitely don't isolate yourself that much too, yeah. Or
Yeah.
go all the way back, try this as well, just because your team still can see you, yeah, you keep the distance factor in mind, so this is nice. And so right after that we go for Venom Mine, apply some pressure. Yeah, this is fine. Why do you keep this angle exactly?
Mm, what? I think it's just because I can see everything. It's like a high
Mm-hmm.
ground angle, but now that I think about it, now they know I'm there. Uh,
Is there any other position which allows you to control the map a little bit better? Because to me it seems well, you see a lot of stuff here obviously, but it's kind of similar to this first point where when you went
um,
this way, you see a
mhm.
lot of stuff, but we could see more potentially from where we are, from our position.
Yeah,
Yeah, if you go in a window here, to me it seems kind of a little bit the same
kind
type
of
of thing.
limited because now they're kind of like hiding. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I could maybe be behind that. Is that a bus? I don't know what it is.
Yeah, yeah, well, it's around this spot, kind of, yeah, or maybe on
Or
top of
top of
it.
the bus?
You could, yeah, one of the possibilities. Why not? Maybe being on
Um,
somewhere like this car. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, see,
yeah,
what
there
we.
would
Mhm.
would be better line of sight than where I'm at because it's very difficult where I'm at. It's like a
Mhm.
weird angle and they have a lot of cover. I
Yeah,
noticed.
yeah. So see what we're trying to achieve. Yeah, just having more options with what to do. We don't want to be exposed to too many sweats. Obviously, you want to keep in mind the cover. That's why you probably use this bass. So like, yeah, probably the bass is your piece of cover. So you minimize the sweats. Maybe you drop, use the car. This is possible, but we just have more options.
Hmm.
What we can do, kind of, I just think better. Better lane control. You have a bigger area you're controlling. Yeah. So if we compare the first area, it looked like this. Yeah, if you're on the high ground, it looks like this. If you
Yeah.
on the bass, it kind of looks like this. So you have bigger area which you're controlling. That's the one thing. Yeah, control. Make sure you control
Okay. Yeah.
bigger, more space. And the second thing is the second perspective is if you're controlling more space. Usually, what it does, it's you able to put the enemy away from, let's just say, make it difficult for the enemy to reach any piece of cover. So if you
Mm-hmm.
hear, then it's quite easy for the Winston to just hide instantly, or for anybody who's playing close to this corner, hide around this corner.
Mm-hmm.
But if you hear, then it becomes much harder for them. It's gonna take much more time for them to go out and hide. Yeah, see, like this more, this Genji, all of these guys, it's gonna take um, maybe for you 2 shots, and you can kill them, which can make the
Yeah.
difference. That is something to keep in mind. We
Uh,
trying to take those
Yeah.
positions where the enemy is, especially the divers, you putting them away from that cover where they're not as close to the piece of cover, but it's because you positioned in a good way, in
Mm-hmm.
that different way. Yeah, this is big difference always. Like, for example, I don't know, I choose to pressure this area, I have
Mm-hmm.
somebody around this corner, corner A, they can hide instantly. Yeah, this is not the best for you because they can reach the cover in 0.5 seconds, so like, yeah, almost
Yeah.
instantly. So we're trying to make sure it's harder for them to reach piece of cover. So where you would be in this case, maybe not, let's call it A1. um so we would not be at A1, but then where you can go if you want to pressure this enemy at A, potentially.
Uh, there's like that room on the left, right?
For example, yeah, it can go there, and now it becomes much more difficult, and
Yeah.
you actually put the enemy away from cover. It's gonna take much more time for them to reach it.
Mm-hmm.
That is how you think with your position, yeah? Make it harder for them.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like trying to get more space so it's harder for them to
Yeah,
get
exactly.
cover.
Exactly. And that is the same thing
Uh,
about your position
um,
here. Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think this is
Because
where they.
because if you do that, then you apply more pressure. If you apply more pressure, it becomes harder for divers to dive you as well. That is the main
Mm,
point, yeah? Like, how do you use your distance? Yeah, what is the quality of you using the distance? Like, can you
yeah,
apply a lot of pressure, really?
and they're still kind of close to me. If I were behind that bus, it'd be maybe more difficult for them to get to me because it's further away from where they're.
Sort of, yeah. Well, you have grapple anyway. They're trying to reach you. You can always grapple away. It's just you probably would have enough time set up. You grapple is back, then they jump you. You grapple out. Yeah, definitely avoid this
Mm,
short grapples. You wanna look for longer grapples. If they dive you,
yeah.
yeah, we wanna try to go somewhere else. Like maybe you drop, wait them to chase you. Like here, for example, okay, they're gonna go after you again, and you can go out in that
Oh, maybe
position.
I.
For example, yeah, that can be something we can do. Yeah, what do you want to
Okay.
say? Hmm.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say like, oh, I could have gone back to the high ground kind of thing.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
Winston already uses jump, and I still had my grapple hook, so okay.
Exactly, yeah.
Mm.
But the big thing is really like, what do we do before? So you prevent them from diving you, just like all this pressure, even though it's not on divers directly. Maybe it's on enemy Anna, enemy Life Fever. It becomes just much harder for the divers to go after you. Yeah, like let's say now you wanna think about the controlling the area. You wanna be thinking controlling
Mm-hmm.
this space, okay? Where you should be going right away, so you have much more control. You get more space control.
Yeah, I think I could have just been on top of that bus, or
Same, yeah, probably.
yeah,
Yeah. I
or like
mean,
near the bus.
even this is better, but probably the bass is slightly better. Like going on top of the car, just get us a little bit more vision. Maybe this,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I think this position, why not? It's pretty common. It's pretty good,
Yeah.
and you put these guys away from cover more.
Mm-hmm.
It's harder for them to reach it. Well, they go after you with the blade. Well, that's alright.
Genji's big tone. The name was amusing. I'm like, oh, they play
Yeah,
Genji.
yeah. I'll get the Santa. Nice. Yeah, now again thinking about this more
Yeah,
kind of sharper angle, yeah, where you put these enemies, they're gonna be harder for them to reach the cover. That's why we easily go here and shoot
yeah,
anybody. You here, it's a little bit easier for them, yeah. They're reaching cover, same as on the first point,
yeah,
same
yeah,
as on the second point. Yeah, the bit
yeah.
limited space we're working with. It can be
Because I
more
noticed
space.
I was here. It's like it's so hard to hit anyone.
Yeah, yeah. It's just it's we only okay. You see this kind of a little bit of this. This is
Yeah,
all of this yellow part. But suddenly, if we down there, you have much more vision, uh, and it might seem like low ground, yeah. But why we're taking high ground in the first place is that usually it gives you more control. It gives you better line of sight. But here it's just not the
mm,
case. Yeah, here it's unfortunately the low ground is, or maybe fortunately for us, low ground is slightly better. We actually see all this entire area.
yeah.
There's just
You can
much
just
more
see
stuff.
everything.
Yeah, and we always choose, obviously, we don't want to overpeak. Yeah, we still play corners, but it's just bigger area we're controlling.
Hmm.
This position still can work, but it's just don't think
It's
it's
really
that
hard.
necessary.
Yeah,
Like this, you also have
I
limited
could.
vision to work with.
I seem to enjoy going back and forth between those platforms.
That's alright. A bit difficult, might seem a little bit difficult on this map just because it's just kind of close range oriented, like this part at least. There are a bunch of
Yeah,
corners, but if you use the corners to your advantage, like I mentioned, yeah, like go to the left, for example, yeah, you have really nice corner to work with, push these enemies out comfortably, yeah, like now, it's so easy for the enemy to reach the cover, yeah, instantly, if we,
yeah,
right there, take the time, okay, we're right here now, it's really, really tough, the enemy, they only have this payload in the middle as the piece of cover.
yeah. I made it easy for them.
Hmm.
And now I'm here.
Okay,
I don't. Yeah,
well, at this point of time, we just have to reset, yeah. Then they pressure you for south deflect, this is fine. If you looking to control this area, going right, it's possible that, but then later, probably pushing all
yeah.
the way left, slightly better once you can. Well, we have an advantage, so this is good. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think this is alright. Once you get rid of this, guys, you probably wanna see, okay, again, like, because you're gonna be controlling this area, just position on the angle, which gives you more options, where you would
Mm.
go eventually. What do you think?
What is that circle thing behind it?
Yeah.
Yeah, behind the
For
mega? Or like
example,
by the mega. Yeah, right
yeah,
here.
for example, one of the good things, one of the good positions where you can go later. Maybe even now, to be honest, just like, oh, wait, what happened? Your team.
I have no idea what happened.
Oh, they just
Oh no.
stepped to the point. Well,
No.
that happens.
Is that what a C9 is?
Yeah, they
No.
stepped to the point. That well happens.
Oh well. I always hear people say C9, but I'm like, everyone died. I don't think it's a C9.
Okay, this is fine position to start with. You have a decent region. This is what we mentioned here. Trying to have as much control. Yeah, to control the bigger area. Okay. What do you think about this position?
Mm, well, they know I'm there now, and
Well, that's all
think
right.
I think it was okay,
Yeah, I think.
but
Mhm.
yeah,
Okay, but
like
what?
I can see I'm like controlling that face right there. Because I feel like they knew where I was already on the first where my first position was, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna go over here instead
Mm-hmm.
because I feel like I'm still covering the same kind of like space, but like a different location.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think was
yeah.
my thought
Because it
process.
changes yeah, it's changing the place where the fight is. Now it goes to here, so you're looking to control this bigger area, yeah. But there's a difference where you control not as much space. Like let's say you're on high ground for whatever reason, you control not as much space here. You control pretty decent amount of area. You're controlling almost everything here. So this position is nice.
Okay.
Yeah, we have a lot of control. Your position is getting folded a little, but it's fine. Mm-hmm. I think even staying there before would be okay. Like your
Like the first spot or which one?
yeah, the first spot. The I'm no, I mean yeah, like you took that and then we get involved off, but then there's no reason to maybe give it up unless you exactly know the Genji is
Oh,
like hard committing. I assume you probably you saw the Genji is there. If it is the case, then I think it's fine. Why we change the angle, but just
yeah.
seeing it like if we know that is the threat we can deal with, like you have a teammate, maybe like the soldiers running towards you, you still can keep this. I think there's no
Mm,
other big burst potential. Like at least nobody's shooting you yet. Once they start shooting you, then you probably switch the position. So it's like, yeah, here they start going on you. You think, okay, how do we readjust my position? Ideally,
mm-hmm.
against the Genji is just keeping your distance, trying to, um, yeah, like the range is important. Like this is a little bit too short. Want to go a little bit longer range? Maybe you
Yeah.
kill him this way.
Maybe.
Yeah, you. What do you think? Where you could go in this case?
Uh, maybe I could have just gone further away from because he already uses dash. I could have. There's like that high ground area behind him.
Yeah,
Where,
possibly. Yeah.
yeah, because it's like the same thing as before. Instead of doing like that
Mm-hmm.
short grapple, I could have like used it to go further away and then
Yeah.
maybe hit
Yeah.
him.
Yeah. It seems like one of these things here, at least against the dive. Yeah, trying to
Yeah.
use a little bit too short range grapples. Like this grapple is better. You
Yeah.
creating bigger distance. You have decent control over the area. Well, they still can dive you, but at least but you're forcing out more resources from them, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the fight is over. Just setting up. Okay.
I think this angle is also weird at the start because they're all the way over there and
Hmm.
like
What do you think is the better one?
there's like that area behind. I think that's soldier. There's like a one area on the left side,
Mm-hmm. Like
like
here,
here or on the right side. The behind the tree. There's like that wall there or something.
kind of around the spot.
Like yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I think so too. See, your team is trying to control this area. We want to control the bigger one. So either this, maybe a little bit leaning. Yeah, I think depends where you want to stay. Maybe even here works. But then later you can reposition. And then
yeah,
later we can try to get away. Yeah, see, we want to look for those early shots. We apply pressure on the divers as well. It becomes really much harder for them to close the gap with you because of it. Now it's way too defensive, yeah? Like, at the end,
yeah,
too easy for the enemies to get around the corner. You shoot somebody, okay, they can instantly hide behind the cover.
Hmm.
You're trying to reposition later, which is nice, but see now the fight is already in. They already closed the gap. Yeah, you shouldn't allow
Yeah.
them to do so. Yeah, you're making it easy for them to dive you.
Hmm.
We got Tracer here. They play Widow at any point of time there.
Well, I think it was just Tracer.
Okay, this is fine. I think for this part of the map, especially if you have more shorter or range oriented, then why
Hmm.
not? Okay. Yeah, I think maybe let's try to summarize all what we mentioned today. What do you think?
Yeah, I think the big one for me was like seeing my position as like what space do I want to like take?
Mm-hmm.
Because I do notice I I think it's just like I just positioned somewhere, but I'm not really thinking about what space am I trying to like hit
Mm-hmm.
or like cover. So I think having that in mind more so would be helpful for when I think about my positions. Because yeah, sometimes I just go on high ground and I immediately think like, oh, this is a good spot. They can't get to me. But at the same time, I'm not really pressuring anything. I noticed
Mm-hmm.
that happened multiple times here, and and my grapples are very short, especially when I want to escape, which isn't really great for Widow.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe take the time to just think about where to grapple, like a game plan. If so and so jumps on me, I'll go here instead of just grappling on the floor somewhere and they get to me anyway.
Right.
I think those are like the big ones
Mm-hmm.
um, that I noticed. And yeah, if they jump on me, don't isolate myself.
Mm-hmm. Keep
I'm
it
getting further distant.
yeah, keep it with longer distances, but also trying to play in the area where we still can get support from your team with
Hmm.
the resources. Yeah, this one is
Yeah.
important. Mm-hmm. Okay. Anything else?
I think those were the big ones that I can think of.
Yeah, I think this is
Yeah.
good. Keep in mind also maximizing an enemy hitbox whenever you position. Yeah, you're trying to really because you position a certain way, like you making it harder for them to reach the cover. Yeah, this
Yeah.
this one is also connected to this thing where we mentioned control bigger area, more space. Yeah,
Hmm.
where you have more options. Mm, make it more difficult for enemy to reach the cover.
Hmm.
Okay. Is there anything else?
Mm, no, I think those are the top ones that I recall.
All right, all right. Yeah. Well, for the most part, I think playing against that, that's about it. To be honest, you Mine
Hmm.
placement was alright. I think the only thing is if you play against the tracers, sombras, you might place it on the flank where you expect them to be, so
Yeah.
it's gonna be not as unexpectable for you.
Hmm.
But it's okay to place the Venom on yourself. Remember, just as the general priority, though. Yeah, think how to apply pressure first. You apply
Hmm.
pressure, you're forcing out those resources from divers, and then it becomes much harder for them to go on you. You're forcing out the deflect, you're forcing out the leap, maybe even Winston bubble. It's
Hmm.
always valuable to you. Okay, that's all. It makes
Yep.
sense.
Yeah, I'm just here like thinking. I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah.
Nice, good. So it's been plane versus dive, and then you can also use the SWOT model, the one
Yeah.
I shared. I'm just gonna place it somewhere in in the tasks, just it's gonna be there. I'm gonna write
Mhm.
down sort model and then screenshot what we mentioned so far. Really, maybe try to do this exercise before each game session. Maybe even
Mhm.
you can apply it for some in real life events. This is also can be useful. You can read about it a little bit more if you like, or you have any questions, let me know. But I'm just gonna say for now, sort model, do that before each game session. You set your thought in the right direction, you get better
Mhm.
result. Okay. Do you have any final questions, maybe? Any specific questions?
Mm, no, I think that really covers it. Cause yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I just kind of made it easy for them to get to me every time.
Mhm.
I like the positions I was at and like my really short grapples. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I'm gonna try that out whenever I fight dive because I think that is like my biggest issue I notice as I'm going through plat. Um, People switch to like dive, and I'm like, oh no.
Yeah.
So I'd like to work on that so
Hmm.
I don't get scared of the many Winstons that jump on me or the Genji. It's always those two.
I get it, yeah.
Mhm.
If you're gonna have any problems against the dive, still feel free to message. We can talk about that. And
Mhm.
for the next time, what do you wanna do? Is there anything you wanna look for? I think that was our last session from that plan which we had, at least, if I'm not mistaken, right? So there was,
I yeah, yeah. I think
yeah,
this was like the
uh-huh.
last one, so I can definitely go on Edify. It's still the same, right?
Yeah,
Like the same.
it should be the same. It's just a little bit different design on the website, but
Okay.
it, hopefully it's not confusing. You do the same, go on a profile, then go on
Yeah.
a session. So there should be training plans as well.
Yeah, I'll do the same month one, and then
Yeah, this one is still there, and we could go with over the widow, continue with the widow, just look at any other specifics. I think really depends what your struggle is. Mm,
mhm.
maybe we can discuss playing Flashpoint because you wanted to do that. I'm just gonna mark it for as Flashpoint. Uh,
Yeah.
but we can also do Tracer Water View.